Abhayji, our leader from BE soon. So friends, just to let you know that this ASSOCHAM GEM program is uh, happening under ASSOCHAM, which has 400 chambers and trade associations with more than 4.5 lakhs member. We all know how the energy demand scenario is changing between 2000, which has changed between 2000 to 2017-18, and how it is going to change in coming years. So savings would mainly come from in industry and buildings, and transport sector is what we are expecting, and that is the big hope we are carrying, and that is how we are great in India. The largest energy efficiency opportunities are now existing in um, building sector in the country, and uh, one of the most important ways to realize energy efficiency is through energy services companies with ESCO models, which implement energy efficiency project through um, energy performance contracting. And we at ASSOCHAM GEM have taken a plea that we will popularize this program of BEE throughout the country. So we are talking about technology, know-how, energy, money as legislation parts, and covering it through various programs. This is the fourth program, as Neeraj said, and we will be developing many more programs as it comes to. But whole objective will be to promote ESCO model, because this also gives the opportunity to industry to come up and replace the old energy guzzling equipments, and also update the technology in term help country to save energy and help even clients to bring down their bills. So if you really see the way ESCO model is working as compared to China and USA, we are at infant starting stage, but I think it is a good start. At least this awareness has started, and we can see how we are flaring. India is flaring in most of the Asian markets. Our growth has been substantial, so that's a good news for us. ESCO revenues in public and private is we are in public still at 1%, private 99%. So a huge opportunity again exists there, and energy performance contracting savings, we all know has huge potentials, and that again is getting reflected here. Friends, India energy use is expected to be more than double by 2040 as per IEA report. So in the building sector, space cooling demands and various other strategies is going to quadruple by 2040 in India. Specifically in hospitality industry, we all know how energy plays important role. Close to 50% on energy on air conditioning itself. On the lift, elevators, and electrical equipments, close to 15%, and on the PHE side, it is close to 15%. All this are offering us, and whether it is going to generation of hot water, all are really components of which consumes a lot of energy. So huge potential exists. There are many hospitality projects which are done 20 years back, 25 years back. We just sheerly see the chiller ratings available then and what we are doing now. A huge efficiency increment has happened, and I think BE is constantly inspiring the air conditioning industry. We have 2-3 stalwarts today on this platform with me on this evening, so I'm sure they are going to speak about it. So just going back to ASSOCHAM, I'm not going to talk more on ESCO because we have experts from domain, and it is this what has created initiative for GEM for ASSOCHAM, and we have started GEM Sustainability Certification Program. Our program takes care of residential, office, factory, health facilities, hotels, warehouses, logistics part, educational institutes and campuses. And the program is completely dependent on and based on ECBC, which is of course from being our code. It takes care of sustainability, daylight, energy, water, indoor air quality, and this is one of the programs which also talks about fire and life safety. This is a unique global program. No other program, certification program, takes care of fire and life safety, and we at ASSOCHAM believe that the projects have to be energy efficient, consume less water, have good indoor air quality, but also should be safe for living. So this is one important aspect. And it also addresses the United Nations SDGs 2030 goals. And we all know that the payback period on certified buildings can be 3 to 4 years, while the buildings are built for 25, 50 years. And that is where the ESCO models are also going to come. And in this pandemic, we thought that what ASSOCHAM can do. So this is one area where we thought this can really create the business opportunity. We are very fast progressing in various states. You can see here upcoming chapters and the installed chapter during this period. We are also recognized by organizations like CRESIL and governments like Rajasthan has already issued the notifications. Others are doing this. The GEM certification program starts from GEM 1 to GEM 5. We are currently doing work with several organizations like ASHRAE, ISHRAE, FSCI, Smart Habitat Center, GACS, Solar Society, TERRE. We did excellent program on net zero with them. Very important movement we want to bring in the country is creating awareness amongst the students. During this pandemic, we signed 80 MOUs with various universities to reach the thousands of students across the nation. And we do believe that our future architects and engineers should understand sustainability and make that as a practice right from the starting of their career. And this is a fantastic job Neeraj and Amit and Ashu and the entire team is doing. We have now more than 1,500 plus GEM certified professionals, and we are doing training free of cost. The certification happens online exam. And you can see currently a pharmaceutical company like Abbott or a electrical electronics giant like Siemens, various IT parks, various universities, star hotels like Hilton and ITCs are certified by GEM. You can see number of hospitals which are done, number of airports which have done. Recently, we did beautiful railway stations above, and also the 5-star hotels above them, GEM certified. This was earlier was Bhopal, this station, Ranagar stations, and we are getting a very good publicity across for this. This was under Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana in UP, and the Kartarpur corridor at Punjab is also GEM certified. So friends, let us please and create a green and environmentally sustainable country and complements our Prime Minister's vision. So once again, thanks to BEE, entire leadership for trusting GEM, and thanks to all who are sharing dais with me on these digital platforms. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Pankaj Darkar ji, for your very energetic and encouraging message. So friends, we have with us Mr. Abhay Bakre ji, who is Director General, Bureau of Energy Efficiency, Ministry of Power. So we would like to invite him for his special address. So I would like to give a brief introduction. Mr. Abhay Bakre is a postgraduate in electrical engineering from IIT Kharagpur. He belongs to 1988 batch of Indian Railway Electrical Engineering Services, Ministry of Railways, and has worked in several railway projects, including Delhi Metro and Kolkata Metro Station projects. He has also worked as Joint Development Commissioner in the Ministry of MSME and was Nodal Officer for National Manufacturing Competitiveness Program. As Director General, Bureau of Energy Efficiency, he is currently Sherpa for Clean Energy Ministerial Platform of 26 government members. He represented Ministry of Power in G20, government energy ministerial meetings at Argentina in 2018 and in Japan 2019. So I would like to invite Bakre Saab for your special address. Bakre Saab, over to you.
Yeah, thank you very much, and namaskar to all of you. It's indeed a pleasure for me to address such a gathering of all the experts, and good to know about the GEM certification and its very high significance in terms of our overall climate change policies and the sustainability for the country. So let me thank and compliment ASSOCHAM for organizing this workshop, and also the inputs and comments which we are getting from all the delegates. Very excellent presentation from Sri Pankaj Dharkar ji, and I'm sure that this workshop will get into a much more kind of a visibility, and it will push this particular GEM certification policy or a procedure to a larger coverage. At the outset, if I can start and about the recent G20 discussions, what we are entering it is actually 2020, a decade, and I've already mentioned is the decade of action. If I start from the Bureau of Energy Efficiency 2002 set up under the Act, and then we started rolling out the energy efficiency policies, whether it's from the appliances, then the buildings, the ECBC, then PAT, and everything. That was basically kind of a consumer-oriented, establishment-driven, industry-wide saving. And the saving was basically having a return or kind of a benefit to the particular industry or establishment. But when the Paris Agreement came, the entire definition, the entire approach has shifted, not only for saving energy, we are talking now about energy transition. So we need to save energy for ourselves. We need to save energy for the country. We have to reduce the carbon emission for the country. We have to shift our fuel usage or the consumption towards greener fuel, more renewable fuel. And that way we are actually planning for an entire chain of our energy usage, and that's what we call it energy transition. Now, in that process, the first and most effective policy, if you can see any report, whether it's a IEA Outlook or any other report, you will see that the energy efficiency will still be called first fuel. Because even if you want to change from any particular conventional policy or conventional method of fuel consumption, and if you want to change to anything new, whether it is I will just switch off my video because of bandwidth, whether it is because of new technology like hydrogen or e-mobility, etc. Your first step has to be the energy efficiency. You need to optimize the energy consumption, then you change your process, then you change your fuel mix, then you change to renewable. There's no sense that if you are using 100 million units and you want to shift to renewable, then you have to completely shift to the 100 million units of renewable. You need to first put efforts on energy efficiency, optimize using, bring down 100 million units to 60 million units, and then shift the remaining 60 units to the 60 million units to the renewable. And that's where these certifications, whether it's like GEM or any other kind of ECVCs, etc., they are all aimed for. Whether it's an industry, whether it is a transport, you need to first improve the efficiency, then make changes, then make transition. In that process, when we talk about the role of ESCO has to be very, very important. Because ESCO is not actually technical or a classical way of technology upgradation. ESCO is a philosophy or kind of intervention where you try to optimize everything and then shift to a particular energy pattern. If you are using like coal or oil, then you first improve their efficiency, then find out what are the components, what are the processes where you can reduce the energy consumption. Then you switch over to the cleaner fuel, and then get a complete solution package. And ESCOs are actually supposed to drive all these things. As I mentioned just a few minutes before, that if you are having 100 million units of consumption and you want to shift to renewable, the role of ESCO in such cases, as I said, will be to reduce it to 60 million units. The most the advantage is that any energy efficiency improvement has almost 1/5 or 1/5 investment requirement rather than any kind of a fuel switch. This is the second aspect. So that's why it is altogether better that first, for any intervention or for any energy transition, spend money in the first instant on the energy efficiency improvement, then go for the fuel mix change, or that's it. Because the renewable investment will be maybe on the today's they are coming down, but it will still be much higher than the conventional fuel. Now coming back to the role of ESCO as a business model. From B side, we have tried that how the ESCOs can actually perform. And maybe we could come to a conclusion that in the classical way, the way we have been talking, we have been trying to create policies for ESCO, perhaps they are not sufficient or they are not adequate to get the desired amount of investment, the kind of confidence that the financial institutions should have among the energy efficiency project, or more specifically toward the ESCO as an organization or a service provider. So we are trying to improve the kind of functioning of ESCO, perhaps the way the ESCO market should evolve. We are also trying to come to a new scheme, which we call it the energy efficiency financing through PFC, making PFC, Power Finance Corporation, as a champion organization. In that, we would like to have very dedicated, more than 10,000 crore dedicated for the energy efficiency projects, whether it's a smaller or medium size or larger also. Then we would like to have a particular incentives, whether it's a form of interest subvention or any other kind of guarantee. And finally, we would like to have some holding in terms of technology assessment or any other kind of technical grants. So these are the area how the establishment will get attracted, and if the ESCOs are able to actually come in this this particular stream, then they will be benefited. They will be given a kind of a special package or advantage to get the easy loans and then do their energy efficiency service. So this is the second aspect, that the ESCOs have to play a bigger role. And I'm sure that the sectors which are covered by GEM or even other related interventions of ASSOCHAM or other partners, I feel the ESCO has a big market to play. As you know that we have already anticipated over 10 lakh crore investment in energy efficiency. And that will actually take a lot of seriousness, lot of push once we enter into this decade of 2021, where the role is not only to save energy. Here we are saving the planet. We are basically racing against the timeline that we need to reduce our global temperature within our outreach of 2 degree or possibly 1.5 degree. Now we have already come to a stage that we are only talking about 1.5 degree. And definitely this year end, as you know, Glasgow, the COP26 will come out with a much more stronger commitments, more effective policies, and a kind of global cooperation. I think the entire country will come together to resolve this climate change issue. So it will not be just limited to saving energy or improving energy efficiency. It will come to entire kind of a basket of climate change mitigation and saving the planet in terms of. So energy efficiency has to play a bigger role, and I'm sure that all of you are actually with BE, and really thankful to all of you and your expertise. And continue, we expect that you will continue to support BE, and we are always welcome for all your suggestions. Once again, thank you ASSOCHAM, thank you Neeraj, and thank you Dargarji, and we are all here to facilitate much better policies in the coming decade in terms of energy transition. Thank you once again. Jai.
Thank you so much, Bakri Saab, for the very informative session. And sir, definitely at ASSOCHAM, we have a GEM Green Building Certification Program, which is purely based upon the Energy ECBC 2017 guidelines of Bureau of Energy Efficiency. And if the building is certified by GEM, it means that it is fulfilling the Bureau of Energy Efficiency ECBC guidelines. So we are promoting it, and we have various industry partners with us, those who are following these norms, sir. And we are totally in support of Bureau of Energy Efficiency for this mission. So thank you so much, Bakre Saab, for the encouragement. Now I would request Mr. Ashu Gupta for the moderation. Mr. Ashu Gupta is the managing partner from Design to Occupancy Services Private Limited. So Ashuji, over to you.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Neeraj ji, for inviting me and giving me a chance as a moderate this wonderful event, because ASCO is something is very close to my heart, because that is something I have seen, and different countries are focusing toward the ASCO, and India has a huge tremendous potential, because the Bureau of Energy Efficiency has a report that there's too much potential in India and we are not going in that direction. So we should focus. So first of all, good evening to everyone and good morning to Jim. And we are going to start our session now. And I'm sure this next one and a half hour will be more fruitful to all the audience, because I can see the audience not only from India, from the different countries like China or other countries, also people attending this meeting. So I can feel that how much the potential India has and how much the potential people has an interest in this subject, which is the ASCO, which is not a new one. Like Bhagre sir is told that it's not a, it is something is we have to follow now these days, because it is an energy efficiency is something, if we do not at this moment, if we do not save at this moment, our future is in dark. And we have to work towards the direction that temperature should not go beyond the 1.5 degrees centigrade. The reports are coming, which is very, I would say very dangerous reports. Sometimes the consumption is going in that way and the temperature will go in. So I think we will have a lot of people that who are the expert in that area. So I'll start from the first speaker of ours. So I would like to invite Mr. Dheeraj Wadhwa, and who is the well-known figure in India in the air conditioning industry. He's a director, commercial, applied and overseas business Carrier operation. Mr. Wadhwa works for the Carrier Corporation, having joined Carrier in 2005. He has managed various responsibilities over the long tenure, which includes leading, growing and consolidating HVAC business for the India region. A mechanical engineer by qualification with a postgraduate diploma in business management and industry experience of more than 20 years in the HVAC segment. He is currently responsible for the commercial applied business in India region and the overseas business, while engaging and collaborating with HVAC fraternity. And of course, to encourage, promote energy efficient and built environment. And of course, air conditioning, when the ASCO word comes, air conditioning should come first. The reason behind it, the 50 to 60% energy consumption in any commercial building goes in HVAC. So Wadhwa sir, we would like to hear you, and I think everyone is waiting for that. So over to you, sir, please.
Thank you, Ashuji, for a nice introduction to me, and appreciate that. And once again, thank you for the opportunity given to me, and in terms of sharing our technological advancements, how we can support the cause, and a very relevant topic in the current environment, I should say, wherein we are talking about healthy air, we are talking about healthy buildings, we are talking about sustainability, we are talking about energy. The operating costs now day by day are becoming more critical, and under the COVID period is under tremendous pressure for every organization. And hospitality segment probably the worst hit right now, along with the tourism sector. I think this topic today for our discussion makes complete relevance. So maybe without taking much time, I'll just share a few slides. I'll not go through a big presentation, but something which we would like to see and understand. Just give me a minute, I'll put that up. I hope it is visible.
Absolutely, it is visible. Just do the full screen.
Yeah. Okay, to begin with, India, what rather globally, and then talking about India, we are witnessing a lot of changes which are for the betterment of the society. And these changes, what we observe, are towards urbanization is what we see. Currently, we see about 35% of our population living in cities, but next decade we will be observing this going up to more than 40%, and that's a significant shift. So we can imagine what contribution this population will have to our GDP and how significant it becomes for us to look at it. Other than that, what happens as this happens, the replacement and the modernization of the existing lot of buildings, other than the new buildings to be constructed, will also become very significant. As we go through a lot of reports, about 70% of urban India is yet to be constructed. When we say that, it's not just the new buildings, but modernization of the existing buildings too. So that's the kind of building stocks what we have with us. And along with this, what we also see, there's a lot of focus. Mr. Bakri was also speaking about it. There's a lot of focus around efficiency and environment. And today it is clearly visible through the regulatory changes what we are driving. We've got bodies which are working towards standards, labeling of equipments from a smaller residential product to a large commercial products. And of course, on the regulation sides, we do have the concern around environment, and we are committed towards the Kigali Agreement as well. So with all this background, what do we see? What we see is the trends of this urbanization and population. They certainly are the strong growth fundamentals, and this will demand buildings which are going to be much more comfortable, efficient, and of course healthy. So with these changes, what we are observing, how does the air conditioning piece or the cooling load requirements inside the building looks like? How is that changing in the landscape? So this will give us some idea when we look at the cooling requirements and look at the energy Pareto on the left-hand side of this chart. What we observe is the space cooling inside the buildings, which is represented with the blue color out here, how it has changed as a percentage of cooling required through cold chains, transport, air conditioning, refrigeration, etc. So clearly what we will, if we baseline at 2017-18 and look 20 years henceforth, 10 times is what the cooling load requirement will grow by. So clearly this is an area which we all should look into, and how we can optimize this, how we can reduce this, because this is directly linked to the carbon emissions. And we all stand committed towards society and see how we can optimize this. Also, what is important to be observed out here is on the right hand side, what you observe is the trends. If you look at all the construction material which goes inside the building, individually all these products have seen improvements on their key performance indicators, whether it is glazing systems, lighting systems, cooling systems. But when we look at the performance of our buildings, we generally tend to find that the building efficiency has not improved in line with what the individual products have got into. So clearly we see an opportunity for us to work on and see what all we can do towards it. So why are we not seeing those benefits reflecting in the building performance? Some of the operational challenges what we observe. And now talking about the application piece, whether it is a commercial building or it is a healthcare building or an operational building or a hospitality, whatever it is application as, what are the operational challenges they face? When we design these buildings, they hardly operate on full loads, which we tend to look at when we design the complete building and the equipments are selected. And this load poses a bigger challenge when we observe that, it varies continuously and consistently. We also see observation, we also observe that there are variations with respect to design and the actual load what we see on the ground. Prediction of load patterns. We have experts to predict, but then of course with the changing weather conditions, will the load pattern remain the same? Of course, we see those variations as well. Last but not the least, we as experts pick up the best equipment, whether it is chillers, pumps, cooling towers, whatever equipment we pick the best. But are these equipments compatible with each other, or are they talking to each other is a big question. So that's something which we should all look at and try and see what we can do towards this, or how we can address these challenges to the best of our ability. So ESCO companies, ESCO organizations, when they work on the field, and in particular with the HVAC existing plant rooms or the new plant rooms being designed. First, I will touch upon the existing plant rooms because that's where our experience comes back. Whenever an application or a customer calls these ESCO organizations like us or many others in the field, we go through a complete plant room audit there are two ways of conducting it. One is we do a spot analysis, and the second is we pick up the logbooks which you have maintained for last so many years. These logbooks are very important, mind you. They give us an insight to understand the complete load, how it has varied during various months, seasons, etc., and helps us to do the energy profiling to understand the minimum and the maximum load and how it is varying. And spot reading helps us corroborate all those pieces of information together. We also get into a micro level working on each and every equipment to see what is the benefit and the opportunity we have on these equipments. Multi-level energy solution means that we not only look at completely revamping the plant room, but every equipment opportunity is looked at. And simultaneously, the proposals which any ESCO will give to a customer will not be a one-shot solution. You can scale it up in stages, and that's how these proposals make sense in terms of how much investment would you like to do today, later, or maybe in one shot, whatever way you would like to work on. So what's important is today we are in the world of digitalization or digitization, what we may call as. When I spoke about, in my last slide, when I spoke about are these equipments talking to each other, whatever they are meant for, are they doing that? We have equipments called Plant System Manager, which makes all these equipments to talk through. And mind you, when I say we means most of the organizations today in the field, it's not just Carrier. I can speak about experience of Carrier, but I cannot speak about others. But what is important is these systems exist today. That's more important for us to understand. When we try and employ these equipments and see what are the strategies we have to see how we minimize the energy consumption or optimize them. So individually, all equipments will have strategies, like cooling tower will have a staging control. Pumps may have a different strategy. You can put up a VFD on the chillers, put a VFD on the pumps. You can do many things individually on these equipments. But a plant system manager, what it does is it will understand the performance curve of all the equipments installed. It will try and understand the operational pattern. It will also try build algorithms around these operation pattern and performance curve. And finally, whatever the load might be at any given point of time, it optimizes every equipment which is operating at that moment to the best or the lowest power consumption, thus giving you an optimized power consumption across the load conditions. That's what the technology has evolved today and should be utilized and can be utilized. Some of our experiences in last about, I'll say 4 to 5 years, the plant room audits what we have conducted. If you look at the left top chart, clearly hospitality comes out to be the most sought after segment who goes after the ESCOs to see what opportunities do they have. It's important to understand why so, because there are targets to reduce their power consumption. They're working on KPIs. Are others not working? Probably they are. Are they as aggressive? Probably not. And that's something for us to probe today, how we can engage not only hospitality, but other segments also to be roped in to find out the opportunities across energy savings. Some of the success cases, if you observe on the lower side of the left-hand side chart, clearly when you look at the minimum power saving what a customer could achieve to a maximum what he could achieve is anywhere from a 20% to a 40%. That's the potential plant rooms today have when we work on the existing plant rooms. Now we all can understand when a new plant room is being designed, and if all these factors are taken into account, how efficient plant rooms will all of us will be able to construct and build, and how much of energy can we start saving from day one of operations. Some of the benefits the owners can have is energy saving through highly optimized solutions. Of course, 24/7 remote control and high-speed communication architecture. Customers served, I will not repeat the same, but important point is 30 million kilowatt hours of energy has been saved through these efforts till date by only one ESCO is what I'm speaking about, Carrier. Of course, we have also been recognized at a national platform. Our organization working for Taj Hotel in Delhi was able to get recognized. Of course, Taj Hotel got that recognition, but we were the people who were given the opportunity to work on. And this was National Energy Conservation Award in the hospitality segment 2016 is what was awarded. So government also is trying to recognize the efforts made by customers in the segments and the applications, and ESCOs contributing towards it. I was talking about Taj. I'll just pick this up as a case study for us to understand what really we did over there and how it benefited the customer. So picking up a few things, when we were called for the plant room audit, the expectation was that the load has gone up significantly and we need to add chiller to the plant room. But when we conducted the audit, we found opportunities to work on the improved efficiency. The equipments were old, not from an operation perspective, but from efficiency perspective and technology, how it had evolved over the period of time. So technology and efficiency pushed us to look for a new equipment. Otherwise, they were okay operating, no problem. But that gave us a window to work on the complete plant room. And we looked at implementing strategies around every component of the plant room, like putting up VFDs on the pumps, looking at cooling towers, looking at AHUs. And finally, all the chillers which were existing in the plant room were kept as it is as a backup requirement. And a new chiller which was picked up more from an efficiency perspective. And all these strategies put together helped the customer to bring down the energy consumption from 1.1 kilowatt per ton of refrigerant or refrigeration to 0.69 kilowatt. So that's the power of what today we can do inside a plant room in terms of bringing down the energy consumption. So similarly, if I look at few other applications, one commercial building inside Gurgaon, again, we had the opportunity to do the same activity through the plant room audits. And here, being not a 24/7 application, but a 12-hour application a day and 5 days a week, the payback period was a little higher, close to about 3.5 years. But again, if you observe, we were able to bring down the power consumption from 1.46 to 0.73. That means 50% reduction on the efficiency or other improvement in efficiency and reduction in the energy consumption. So that's the power of what an ESCO can do inside a plant room. Third case is again a Bangalore, which is a commercial application in Bangalore, a better weather condition than what NCR gives. Again, what we observe out here is we could save energy to the tune of around 35%. Return on investment was close to 35%. $200,000 for the initial investment. But important point to be seen out here is, again, we were able to bring it down to close to about 0.63, 0.64 kilowatt per ton is what the aim should be. So with all these initiatives and efforts, we clearly see the opportunities what we have, whether it's a hospitality segment or any other segment. Now, this plant system manager, which works on various strategies and speaks to every equipment inside a plant room, you can clearly see that all the key performance indicators can be seen for each and every equipment. How does it help? The visualization helps us in benchmarking, and benchmarking helps us in diagnostics. So you can really not only look at optimizing the efficiency inside a plant room, but it also helps us working towards rather a plant room not getting into a breakdown. And we can look at some prognostics to be taken care of before anything happens where the equipment goes down. And not just this complete plant system manager can be scaled up to become a complete building management system. Taj, for that matter, implemented and used this for connecting their elevators as well. So that interestingly brings me to the end of what technology can do for various applications today in the field. And you can have an increased life of all your existing assets, whether it's an existing plant room or you look at new buildings and new applications and new equipments being selected. So thank you once again for patiently hearing me out. Hope the session was useful. Thank you. Over to you, Atuli.
Thank you so much, Dheerajji, I think, for the nice presentation. I have noted down some points, but of course, I'll take a question in the end because I have seen one of your slides was showing right now the 62% cooling demand in the 2020 right now. By the 2030, it will be the 78% demand. And I think that is something very alarming for us also to understand that where we are moving. So I will take up the question later side. So I would request for my next speaker now. And because I request all the participants, please keep your questions in the question and answer box. I think we will take up questions on later. And we have another speaker on the different domain when we talk about the domain, especially in the ASCO business, because this is something the people want to understand what exactly they are doing and how it is happening. So I request Mr. Manoj Kumar Singh. Manoj Singh is he's a solution development manager, Honeywell Automation India Limited. Mr. Singh is having an experience of more than 20 years in the field of energy efficiency and utility operation. First 5 years in industrial operation and energy optimization, and last 15 years working with Honeywell, and presently heading the solution and the application team for Honeywell India. Honeywell is already a grade 1 ESCO registered with Bureau of Energy Efficiency and working in EPC for last 22 years in India. Mr. Manoj has done a BTech in Mechanical Engineering, MTech in Energy Management, MBA certified and accredited energy auditor with BE, and he is also a certified measurement verification professional. So, Mr. Singh, I think we will look forward to hearing you now, and over to you, sir.
Yeah, thank you very much for giving me the opportunity to speak today. I just have to present my side.
Mr. Singh, I think your voice is breaking. I'm not sure if it is from Neeraj sir, but I think we can see your screen. I think your screen is good, Michelle.
Please switch off your video so audio quality will improve, sir. Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
We can see your screen now. Perfect. We can see your screen now. Please go ahead.
Yeah. So thank you for giving me an opportunity to speak about Honeywell, how Honeywell is contributing towards this ESCO business, and especially in energy performance contract business in India. So I will be talking about Honeywell as what it is doing in energy and sustainability business and its approach towards EPC and some of the solutions what we are offering in hospitality sector. And especially I will be talking about Honeywell Forge, what Mr. Dheeraj was talking about, how it is challenging today to communicate each equipment. So I'll be talking about what Honeywell is doing in that field. And one case study I have taken for one of the hotels, which we have implemented 10 years back, what we did. And also I will be talking about ESCO, what EPC models, what Honeywell has. So coming to this, what Honeywell is doing into energy and sustainability, we are, as we discussed, we are grade 1 ESCO, and I think there are 127 companies listed with BE from grade 1 to 5, and we are grade 1 out of 7 to 8 companies who are grade 1. And we have done more than 150 plus executed projects in India on energy performance contract. So 150 plus energy performance contract we have already done. We have saved more than 162 million units in those. We are talking about these numbers in the past 10 years, not 20 years. We have saved more than 162 million units already through energy performance contract. And we have unique model which is guaranteed saving model, because the challenge what ESCOs today's face is basically the savings which is committed to the customer. There is no bank guarantee or assurance, and if assurance is given through the bank guarantee of equal amount of 100% of saving amount, it gives customer the confidence to execute the projects. So that is the biggest thing what we are offering as a offering through ESCO model. And the most important thing also is the fifth point around engineering and analytics techniques. So there are companies who are doing engineering techniques by retrofitting their pumps, cooling tower, chillers, things like that, upgrading the equipment to a next level. And there are companies who are working towards analytics technique by pulling the data and doing some energy management system, those things. So Honeywell is a company who are into both the things. So we do energy retrofit also by engineering technologies, and also we do analytics techniques to improve the overall monitoring and control system. So I'll talk about the fourth technology which we have on this machine. And also we have done what our experience in the ESCO is like in a typical building, we call it like 4-wall system, where you have like hotels, hospital, and office building. We are able to save up to 30% and up to 10% in utilities, because we are also working in industries where like you have big utilities like in pharma and petrochemical or textile mills. So there we are, our experiences, we have saved around 10%, and in buildings we are able to save up to 30%. So how we approach this whole EPC model, energy performance contract model in Honeywell. First, we do the walkthrough audit to understand the existing facility in terms of their operations. Like Mr. Dheeraj was talking about, understanding the logbook gives you a lot of indications in terms of the present performance of equipment and how it is operated and run in all the seasons, like 12 months. So we collect the data for 12 months and do the preliminary walkthrough audit and come out with the ideas that what can be implemented. And the good part with Honeywell is we are not talking about any product. If the solution is around lighting, or it is HVAC, or low side, or hot water, or boiler, or anything which saves energy for customer, we are ready to do. Either it is electrical, mechanical, or automation. So we try to find out list of ideas what can be implemented at site, and what we discuss with the customer, like these are the 10 ideas can be implemented to improve the overall energy consumption at the plant. And then by mutually discussing the feasibility and the payback criteria of the customer, we go into the investment grade audit, which is detailed audit for the identified ideas which is agreed between the customer and Honeywell. We go for those detailed engineering and come out with the final saving and invest numbers. So what happens basically after this contract is signed, the mutually agreed baseline and energy conservation measures details are listed down as a part of contract, and this is actually then executed the projects, and saving is guaranteed. The best part here is like we follow international protocol for measurement and verification. This is the biggest challenge in India, that the baselining and the saving measurement is the key in EPC business, and we follow the global protocol of IPMVP. So this is so that there is no conflict. Everything is documented upfront. Everything is part of energy performance contract, which is a legal document, so that customer has confidence that whatever has been committed will be delivered, and same thing has been guaranteed by the bank guarantee. So all the aspect of what can go wrong, potential wrong, in last 22 years we have learned, and we have corrected all the things, so that customer is risk free and they can execute the projects without any problem. The best part, like sometimes it happens like when a ESCO project, the designer, the audit team is different, the engineering team is different, the implementation team is different, and guarantee is done by someone else. To counter those issues, what we have done, we have unique guaranteed saving model under ESCO, which talks about we will be the party who will be doing the audit, we will be designing the system, we will be implementing the solutions, and who will give you the bank guarantee of 100%. So this is a risk-free energy business engagement with the customer, where all the risks are covered under this program, which is energy performance contract. Now coming to the typical buildings in hotel or hospitality sector, what are the areas? If you see typical buildings or hotels will look like there will be ventilation system, lighting system, there will be electromechanical system which retrofit can be done. Air quality is important factor. Then your chiller and pumping system, BMS, and all these water management system, all these constitute your energy into a building or into a hotel. So what are the typical solution what Honeywell can talk about in a hotel? This is not the only thing we do. What we do basically is like we say that everything we can do. It depends that there should be potential in terms of saving, and customers should be ready to meet the criteria in terms of payback. So we can do all the possible solutions. So coming to some of the ideas which can be implemented in hotel type of industries, or maybe the you can say buildings or malls, or maybe cinema theaters, those all lie into hospitality sector. So you talk about building management system, which is like a simple first step where we can put all the equipments, monitor of all the equipments, and engage, connect all the equipments of high side and low side. And the second is like basically energy management system, where you can do energy accounting. You can understand what equipment is consuming how much, so that you know where is the gap. And like we are talking about 40% HVAC load, 50% or 60%. So once you put all the system in place, you will come to know where you are consuming and which is the pain point, and then you can focus on the energy saving opportunity and improvement plan. The third point is like the Honeywell Forge. I will be talking in detail about this technology, because I feel this is the latest technology which everyone should go for it, where we have the whole understanding of your energy as well as connected equipment. Like Mr. Dhiro was talking about like how our all equipments are talking to each other. So I will explain about those things. The EC fan is like electrostatic, electrocommutative fan. These are fans. Basically, the blowers can be replaced with these fans, where this can be integrated to the BMS system to optimize your continuous load, which is varying. So this EC fan can give you 35 to 45% saving directly on the EC fan technology from the blower HU's point of view. Now, this electronic air cleaner is also a very important solution which people should think about, and we have done a lot of solutions implemented already. Like as per guidelines, MOF 14 rating is required in the building to have better filtration. So what Honeywell offers is like electronic air cleaner, which actually has very low static pressure drop across filters, and can give you the as good as MOF 14. So all the mechanical type of filters can be replaced with electronic air cleaner to lower your static pressure drop and increase the CFM. Once your CFM increases, you can actually reduce your frequency on the blower to get the same impact. So this is another important idea which we feel that in hotels and hospitals type of atmosphere, this can be implemented. Now the last point on the heat pump technology, like you know that in hotels a lot of water is for domestic uses, for bathing and other purposes. So this heat pump technology can also lead to a lot of savings in terms of total energy consumption. So now I was talking about Honeywell Forge. This is like platform. This is the conventional system. You see that somewhere you have BMS system. It will talk to your chilled water. Secondary pump will talk to a pump, and your AHUs, your two-way valves will be there in your AHUs, and you will have two-way valve modulation, and secondary pump will modulate based on the back pressure or the pressure you want to maintain at extreme AHUs. This is a normal BMS system. Now the chiller, there are cooling towers, chill water and condenser pumps. These are independent systems. These are not talking to each other, right? So what happens, like integrated plant management system, you can have these things connected. So what is the next thing, what we are talking about, integrated plant and or maybe the force technology. So we consider all these systems, including AHUs, low side, as a single system. We should have all the parameters connected to each other so that we can understand how your chiller, your pumps, your cooling tower, your AHUs are connected, and the loading is so that it can deliver you a maximum saving. Now this is the system how we are talking about. So you have like existing BMS technology where your BMS are connected, your AHUs and your low side equipments are connected through BMS. Now the high side equipments are also connected because you may have your VFDs on your pumps, you may have your chillers where you have read write options, you can integrate your chiller, and then all these equipment including cooling tower is connected through backnet through a Honeywell Forge system, which is a gateway, and these two systems will talk to the cloud, and this analytics, like right now you must have heard about the analytics techniques and machine learning, right? So AI and ML techniques are used for energy optimization and also on the maintenance, for digitized maintenance. So if all the equipments are connected to a single platform, you can actually follow whether your equipment is going to fail, so that you can do predictive maintenance also. So along with energy optimization, you can also do predictive maintenance using this type of cloud-based technology, which is integrated your low side and high side to have full clarity and energy accounting and troubleshooting also. So how this system works actually? So since there are technologies where,
but sorry to Manoj interrupt you, but we have 2 minutes left for that. I think
I will just move fast. I will go fast. So this system works on this cloud base where data can be pulled. Now coming to one of the case study, what I was talking about, I will speak in short. So this project we did in Renaissance Hotel in Mumbai, where we had heat pump technology, we had HU automation, we had cooling tower upgradation, we had LED lighting, pumping, as well as STP modulation using DO sensor, dissolved oxygen sensor. So it resulted in huge saving where 118 lakhs of saving was done, and 250 lakh was the investment for this project. Now the model I will be talking about, this benchmarking is done from energy part, basically where energy is baseline. In terms of baseline, what are the ECMs we are going to implement, the MNB protocol, and how these variations, if any, in terms of any changes can be covered. And we have both the models, CapEx model and operating lease model, where these projects, if customer is not interested to go for CapEx, this lease model or operating lease model can be through third party can be looked at. So the best part is like we are responsible for design, engineering, supply, installation, testing, commissioning, so that there is no risk, and life cycle cost is already freezed, so that for the next 2 to 3 years, all the cost is known and saving is delivered. If there is any shortfall, Honeywell will pay the difference, if any. So that is the operating model we work on. Thank you. So this is the my content.
Thank you so much, Manoj. I think very nice presentation, and you highlighted how the ASCO model works. And I will ask for the challenges, of course, because challenges also are there. So we'll take up a question in the last because we have some other speakers on the line. So I request my next speaker now to be part of this. Now I think I request Ms. Shama Zain. So Shama is the managing director of KHEMS Technology Private Limited, which is also one of the ESCO company by the Bureau of Energy Efficiency. So Shama graduated of Essex University, UK, joined KHEMS more than 21 years back, more than 21 years experience. Of course, her journey in KHEMS is a story of normal GET. She started as a graduate engineering trainee who has been an exposure across various departments like service, purchase, production, and sales. She has grown to the level of the being of CEO in 2014 and further promoted as a managing director in 2018. And Shama is a very well-known name in the industry of HVAC when we talk about the heat pump, when we talk about the chillers in that. So I request Shama over to you because you have a lot of introduction. I want to be less on that, but we want to hear you what exactly you are doing in ESCO and how is the successful projects what you have done. So over to you, Shama. And I request we have 8 to 10 minutes every speaker will have, so please concise on the time.
Yes. Ashuji, can you see the screen?
We can see your screen. All right, just go on the first slide. Perfect. It is perfect. Please go ahead.
Thank you, Ashuji. So today, what we will discuss about is performance contracting, energy service companies, BEE, steps in performance contracting processes, performance contracting ingredients, service edge when it comes to performance contracting, application areas. Then I will just give a flavor through case studies, end with ESCO framework and the way ahead. So when we talk about performance contracting basically is a time-tested tool which is used to increase energy efficiency while safeguarding while safeguarding everything which are enough to cover the cost of the project. So for example, when we talk about performance contracting, we are talking about an arrangement where contractors don't get paid upfront, but they get paid through the savings which the properties have incurred while they have installed the machines in their properties. By ensuring efficiency projects are picked based on potential savings, and paying contractors directly from the savings is actually the main motto of performance contracting. An agency then applies to participate in such a program, enters into a contract with private sector energy service company called ESCO, and ESCO performs initial energy audit to determine whether the greatest energy savings can be found or achieved. So auditing becomes a very vital part of any performance contracting when it comes to such a module. Performance contracting requires a project guarantee enough energy saving to cover the upfront capital cost of improvements over the length of the contract. So you can determine the length of the contract as per contract or as per the two individuals coming into the contract. So what are the benefits of performance contracting? One, there is no bidding process. You are actually having a very good terms while you are auditing the property for the energy efficiency. No upfront cost of the project. There is no upfront cost because you are paying out of the savings. So the capital investment which any property owner has to make is actually shifted towards those basic period of contract you have actually agreed between each other, and it is a win-win situation between the energy saving which is generated by repayment and earnings from both client and ESCO. So what does actually BEE represent when we talk about ESCO? Energy service companies are defined as ESCOs is a company that offers energy services, usually design, retrofitting, implementation of energy efficiency projects after identifying energy saving opportunities through energy audit of existing facilities. And here you see that when we talk about any ESCO module, there are various applications involved involvement of a supplier, installer, a fund or a grant raising person, consultancy and engineering, energy supplies, and the client. So these are the people who are actually always involved in an ESCO module. And then the four main part of ESCO which we have notified here is, one is audit, being the most important part. Second is monitoring. Monitoring can be done through remote monitoring or plant manager kind of a system. Third is procurement. And again, the major involvement of finance. When we talk about ESCO modules, finance comes into a major role because here we are talking about shifting payments over the contractual period.
Shamaji, we can hear. Okay.
Yes. So the stage one or the development period here, the primary analysis is done of the property. Then a request of qualification or a proposal is done. A detailed audit is done. In stage two, complete implementation of the ESCO project is done, where engineering, design, construction, commissioning, and handing over of the system comes into the picture. And third and the last stage is performance, where the performance is measured, verified, and maintained, and the whole product which is being supplied under this module is maintained and serviced so that it gives a good energy efficiency throughout the period of the contract and throughout the period of the life of that specific product. So in performance contracting, these are some ingredients which we have put in front of you. An ESCO majorly helps a customer to upgrade the facility. As Mr. Vadva has told us that he has seen many properties where not only the products were getting old, but they were also technically old, which means that we have to upgrade the facilities to achieve an energy efficiency level. Accomplish these upgrades by providing an integrated package of services, which means that there is not only one perspective of the coin. We have to check whether chiller or heat pump and the associated equipments are in order or not. Changing only one equipment is not going to guarantee any saving. You have to make sure that the associated or the allied equipments are also giving enough benefits so that such energy efficiency goals can be met. ESCO assumes performance risk for services delivered, and customer and ESCO choose an approach to performance measures that works for both the parties. So what is a service edge in ESCO? Normally in ESCO, the contractual period also covers the comprehensive package during the contract period, regular health checkup and monitoring during the contract period, which means that we are making sure that the life of the machine or the equipment is prolonged by keeping a health check upon it. Performance analysis, we are giving a performance check. Whatever we have put on paper is being achieved in practicality or not. Consumables, major components and maximum uptime. We know that whenever we are talking about such an arrangement, we have committed to the customer that whenever there is a downtime, the customer will suffer, and hence we have to make sure that we maximize the uptime. So what is the difference between a performance contracting vis-a-vis a conventional contracting? In performance contracting, we have integrated the services. In conventional contracting, there are multiple contracts, vendors, and disputes. In performance contracting, there is a single point contract, while in conventional contracting, energy savings are not guaranteed. Long-term guarantee of energy saving, we ensure comfort, standards, and system performance. Funding, comprehensive measures implementation, maximize savings and possibilities. and technical expertise and services are provided under performance contracting. However, in conventional contracting, project funding is a big problem and often incrementally by special appropriations. Now, incremental measures, implementations, there is a negligence, synergies, saving opportunities, and limited staff expertise and overturn may jeopardize the product, and it is only limited to a very short time kind of a service. So here today we want to discuss the application areas, and the application areas which we are discussing are chillers, heat pumps and thermal storage under ESCO mode. So when we talk about chillers, the application areas of the site where old chillers are installed are either obsolete technology or obsolete refrigerant gases which are needed to be replaced, but challenges are in the total framework of the project design, retrofit strategies, anticipated results and finance and guaranteed savings. So under ESCO module, what we are doing is that we are auditing the total project, and we are looking at a situation where allied equipments like pumps, cooling towers, PHEs, walls, electricals, etc. and their sizing is appropriately made so that energy efficiency goals are achieved. When we take an overall view of the system or a 360-degree approach, we can consider the capex becoming a major obstacle, because when we offer a huge capex kind of a situation to any property owner, first of all he will have to go beyond, go to his finances, look whether he can spend that much of money to get his property retrofitted. To make any old building or system qualified for green building rating, energy savings becomes a major criteria. So ESCO or performance contracting here plays a major tool where customers or end users can actually pay out of their savings in installment pattern and can get benefit for a newer or a more energy efficient option. When we talk about thermal storage, it again comes under ESCO module, and we see here that thermal storage is a solution which is effective both in retrofit or greenfield projects. However, we have seen that it has been more successful in retrofitting kind of an option where people have actually burned their fingers and paying expensive energy bills and have now chosen to pay out of their savings, where they have been assured that these kind of savings will surely be there. So when you talk about thermal storage, we understand that it is reduction in the total size of the chiller, about 30 to 70% in general, reduction in the total refrigerant charge, which means that we are giving better results on carbon footprints for achieving better and greener environment, reduction in connected electrical load, which results in reducing transformer, cable, DG sets, panel, etc. A reduction in ancillary equipment like pump, number of walls, piping, and reducing the maintenance and operating cost of the system. So in general, such retrofits have always been beneficial under ESCO model. In thermal storage, integrated system with chiller backed by ESCO can be best possible option for end clients, designers, environment, and sustainability. Another product which comes a huge way under ESCO is again heat pumps, where we have seen that over the years, diesel-fired boilers have become hugely expensive to operate. Even when we talk about electrical heaters to heat water or the space heating, per kilowatt rates are soaring higher and higher every year. Wood-fired boilers or fossil fuel fired systems are resulting into creating a bad environment for us, very high on carbon footprints, and hence replacing all these conventional systems and going into a better and an energy efficient option as heat pumps, when combined with ESCO, actually gives a very amazing results. So I'll just put forward some case studies which we have done for hotel project where water heating was the application area, and this case study is vis-a-vis diesel fired boiler. When you see here, the total average hot water consumption per day is 1,25,000 liters, and the average diesel used per day was 5,700 liters. Okay, so the cost of hot water generation per day was coming to 31,740, which is per day, and hence the annual hot water consumption was 115.85 lakhs per year, which is huge when we compare. So when we install a heat pump, we see that vis-a-vis a heat pump which actually takes about 1 kilowatt of electrical energy to deliver about 3.5 kilowatts of heating energy. The
Shamaji, I think you need to cover in a minute because we have already run out of time.
Just a minute, sir. Just a minute. So the net savings which have been achieved by this property is actually 28.8 lakhs per year. 58.2 lakhs per year, which again is extremely huge. Hence, when we compare the total daily savings, we see that actually there is a huge difference when we talk about such an arrangement, and all this arrangement can be taken into a ESCO module over a period of 3 years. This actually is a study which we have done for thermal storage, and again when we see comparing thermal storage chillers coming into a ESCO module, there is a saving per year of about 92 lakhs 96,000, and hence becoming the payback period of less than 1 year. So things have always been on a greener side when we talk about ESCO, when we talk about revamping, when we talk about bringing new technologies into picture and saving every penny of the customer. I will not take much of the time, and thank you so much, Ashuji, for giving me this opportunity for presenting. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Shamaji. I think you have a lot of different successful case studies, which I would be happy to have this presentation so I can share among all the participants so they can go over the detailed calculation. So that would be the great, I think, because this topic is, I would say, that there's a lot of things to speak, and HVAC is something is not limited to the chiller, heat pump, or thermal energy storage. We can talk a lot of things. So, but I think you covered very well all three major parts on that. Thank you again. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you.
Now I request our next speaker, Mr. Amit Jain. Mr. Jain is the Group Head of New Business Services, the Tata Power Company Limited. Mr. Jain is an engineering graduate from MNIT Jaipur. Great to know, sir. I am also from Jaipur with executive management qualification from IIM Calcutta. He has served in many organizations such as CFCL, NPCIL, and Tata Power, and handles roles in operation, procurement, contract administration, project development, and management, mainly in energy sector. He is presently heading ESCO activities at Tata Power and a strong supporter of IoT and data analytics application in industrial commercial segment. So over to you, Amitji. Please take it forward.
Yeah, thanks, Ashu. So I am from Tata Power, and we are also into the energy analytics. And till now, we have been discussing the solutions which are there to reduce the demand. But if you look at, is the screen visible, Ashu?
Yes, sir, it is visible. Just do the full screen. Yeah.
Yeah. So I will cover the presentation in 4 or 5 aspects. The energy efficiency is necessarily addressing both the element, demand as well as supply. So in case we have 1 unit of energy leakage or potential to save energy, if we reduce the tariff by 2 rupees, then saving is also there. So supply side also energy saving can be there, and by demand side, if I can reduce the energy consumption of 1 unit by 10%, then the demand side can be address. So we have been providing 360-degree element of energy savings, supply as well as demand. So the presentation is there in around 5 aspects. One is ESCO. We will cover briefly because already we have gone through what is ESCO. Energy performance contract, what is there, different types of performance contracts. Use cases, India as well as Europe and US, one from the hospitality segment. Future of ESCO in India, what would be ESCO in line with global, and takeaway or a discussion point for us to deliberate. So ESCO market is generally considered as an investment potential wise, around 30 billion USD per year investment potential or market is there for ESCO players, largely driven by the China and US. India has a very less share in the ESCO market in terms of global sizing. If you look at the offerings in ESCO market, left-hand side is the vanilla solutions wherein retrofit, HVAC optimization or low-hanging fruits of lighting and LEDs are there. And the next layer, which India is presently exploring along with the replacement, is blending with the supply side angle from cogeneration, waste heat recovery or green power. Then further on the right hand side, it becomes a data-driven real-time market, vehicle to grid, grid to vehicle, blockchain, smart solutions of storage, AI-based solutions. So which is there presently in the developed market. So sooner or later, India will also follow the same. If we look at the ESCO landscape in India, it is largely around 150 ESCO companies are there, accredited at a regular frequency by Bureau of Energy Efficiency on various predefined parameters. Tata Power is one of the grade 1 ESCO partners. And out of higher rated ESCOs, mostly are OEMs and few of them are a technology company or entrepreneurship driven companies. The model which are there in the market is mainly shared saving because of market coverage is mainly by the energy efficiency services, more than 90%, which is on the deemed saving. And the solutions are mainly cross-sectoral, wherein lighting, pumps, boiler, heat recovery is there. Process related are very minimal in the Indian market. If you look at the Indian market, we can divide the market in two segments, industrial as well as the buildings. I have not touched upon the agriculture or the retail, residential or the transport. From industry could be large and MSME, and buildings wherein we have the audience from hospitality segments. There could be other buildings, could be offices, ID park, mall, hospitals. For B has been the nodal agency in India to drive the energy efficiency initiatives through standard labelings, finance, various forums, PAT schemes, ESCOs. They had conducted an assessment, Unnati, which was released in 2019. That also outlines the future of energy saving potentials. So if you look at around 2025 or 30, the all IoT analytics, net zero building smartness is coming into the Indian market. That there are 2 or 3 drivers for this. One is the lower cost of the IoT equipments, analytics, communication charges. And second, the market adoption, because already those solutions are getting matured in the overseas market, and that's why India is adopting. Now we will come to the energy performance contracts. There are 4 models typically. One is shared saving, which everyone knows, wherein the ESCO partner takes all the technical and commercial risk. The facility owner is always in a win-win situation. The asset lies on the books of ESCO. They pay the debt, serve the debt, and recover it through the energy saving sharing from the clients. Second is guaranteed saving, where the asset is being built by the client, but the performance guarantee is with the ESCO. A token fee percentage or something on account of savings or investment is charged. Third is the outsourced energy management, wherein asset is built, later on being transferred to the client, and energy is being supplied to the client during the period of contracts. And fourth one is the IoT-based solutions, wherein some upfront fee is there, and later on the subscription fee is there for energy-related services, wherein descriptive, predictive, or prescriptive solutions, or you may say basic, advanced, and professional recommendation are being made. If we look at the global market, wherein the blend of type of contract, if you look at, so India is a peculiar case where the shared saving is extremely high. So the client expect that it market would be of shared saving only. He need not to put any money. Only thing he has to share the savings to the ESCO partners. While if we look at the developed market, there it is more of a guaranteed saving, where the money is being put in by the clients, although the technical performance is guaranteed by the ESCO partners. Now, if you look at the shared saving, we have already covered. It's a technical and financial risk is on the ESCO. It's a capital intensive models. Even if an HVAC solution in a hotel or a hospital will cost 1.5 CR with a payback of 4 years. And if we cover a higher range toward the energy generation and inclusive services in energy conservation measures, the ticket size becomes high and high. Second is guaranteed one, where the global market has shifted over a period after experiencing the shared saving for few or initial years. Later on, when the market got matured and the solution got proven, the guaranteed saving was more into the practice. The third is outsource energy, wherein asset is built on a boot basis. There are 2 or 3 types of charges. One is the fixed, second is on certain consumption basis. Third could be part of upside and downside sharing between client and the ESCO. The typical PPA model or waste heat recovery sort of. Interestingly, there is a surface contracts in Europe, wherein all the performance and technical risk by the ESCO, but there is a bit element of skin in the game by the customer, wherein some payment or some asset liability is being insured through the customer also, and they take the upside also. So they get a bit of saving, and ESCO manages from his share for the debt and his fee. It's an energy supply contracts, typically waste heat recovery. There the theme is not to reduce the demand, rather supply the energy through a greener means. So we have covered the type of contracts globally and the ESCO market. Now we will be going for the use cases. It's a university of USA, where Emresco is a well-known ESCO company in US. If we look at the solution, is not limited to HVAC. It is for boiler, industrial boiler, kitchen, water, lighting, everything. The solution is inclusive. And typically in UK, for a retail chain of Marks & Spencer, Aeon was the ESCO agency. Their HVAC, lighting, and even the monitoring through sub-metering, that could help them save the energy up to an extent of 34% across their 500 stores. Because if we do not measure, we won't be saving or giving attention for the savings. Whatever is being measured, it only gets improved. For a typically HVAC, we have gone through the presentation of Honeywell's Mr. Manoj. Typically, the control is 2 or 3 subsections of the solutions, wherein dynamic airflow could be one of the solutions. Second could be VFDs. Third, we can go to the pumping. Fourth, chiller. And fifth, cooling tower. And sixth could be the supply of energy through a greener or cheaper means. Here, the air quality can also be managed. The theme or the success lies the integration with the OEM controller, because an OEM can provide a solution for its own product, But for an ESCO, which is brand agnostic, the theme is to integrate different component of the system. Pumps would be of A agency, controller of chiller would be of B agency, the VFDs or the fan HU would be of agency 3. So there the integration is the key to success. Here also there could be one element of monitoring, second could be control through automatic airflow, damper, or two-way, three-way wall operation. The KPIs in the dashboarding could be for per day, floor-wise for a hotel, per guest night, or common area. Energy performance index could be compared daily wise. You can predict based on the environment or climatic condition, or you can have a optimized cost of generation. You can have your own rooftop solar or a grid power or a DG power or a traded through the exchange. You can very well have a solution for the optimized cost of generation also based on the forecasting. This is the typical schematic wherein some meters are installed, they talk through a gateway to a cloud, and the analytic gives you the customized reports, alerts at a various levels. The intangible benefit from the monitoring or smart energy monitoring is towards the productivity, health monitoring of the equipment. This is more relevant in manufacturing where the key equipment are there, but in hospitality also HVAC or lighting are the key equipment which can very well be managed, monitor, and get a right prediction before failure to avoid inconvenience to the guest. There could be a TOD analysis because you can very well run some of the non-time dependent utility in off-peak duration. Water pump need not to run water pump in the peak time. You can very well run, or you can have a mix of your consumption pattern. How much I am consuming in peak time, how much I am consuming in non-peak time. There could be consumption would be guest dependent, that is free to them. But at a facility owner in a hotel, you can very well shift some of the load to non-peak. This will give you a saving without any investment from day one. There could be SEC analysis, your kitchen output, kitchen storage item versus the cooling, your gas consumption. Energy need not to be electric. The gas consumption to serve A or B number of guests. You can have your production of gas data and see set your own baselining. What is the best range I was operating, or industry is operating, or my neighbor is operating, because you are competing with your neighbor for a tourist location. 10 hotels are there of the similar ratings or similar star ratings. You need to be more efficient to control the cost. The critical asset I had told, HVAC, water pump, transformer, there the platform can help you to predict the failure or their behavior. Which pump is to be operated, which is more efficient. If you look at the ESCO, the traditional OEM-based ESCO, where OEM solutions are mainly dependent to their own offerings, a motor by OEM A, or a chiller by OEM B, or lighting by OEM C. But there is a scope for an integrated OEM, which take the helps of IoT, make the process more efficient to give you the best solutions. If you look at from the client perspective, there are 10 guys serving to the client on a different levels. Client on a day one has an explicit requirement of cooling requirement, but there could be latent requirement of rooftop solar. And the future, there could be a carport requirement. So an integrated ESCO can play a better role, which enhances the overall satisfaction level and increases the revenue potential for the client also. That's why the new term energy as a service is being talked about in the market. The key ingredient for an ESCO to be successful in the market, there are partners for analytics in both utility as well as process related, partners for sensors and gateway, because communication has to be proper and encrypted. My client data should not go in market for a rupee or penny. The data should be secured with me. Competency or compatibility, integration with value added. which we were saying, the HVAC solutions, lighting solutions, heat pump, your biogas generation on site, plastic to oil, all solutions can be there. And from supply side, it can very well be integrated with battery storage. The Havelock is one of the places where we have done a solution. There the DG was a sole feeder for the electricity. So 1670 rupees per unit. So solar was one of the solutions that could very well be backed up by the battery storage. Real-time exchange can help you. So from smart energy management, it can help you to give a live dashboard, optimize operating level, boost your performance. You can find the facility's hidden capacity. There may not be requirement to enhance the chiller capacity. You might be having a hidden capacity in your existing setup. And we can very well reduce the carbon footprint. That would be a byproduct of your energy management. And we can achieve the our goal of sustainability, planet, profit, and people. Now, this is for deliberation of all of us in an energy performance contracts. Why it is not successful in India? I have just categorized in three or four elements. One is taxation. There is an implication of GST. There is 100 rupees ECM wherein client is giving us 200 rupees over a period of 4 or 5 rupees to serve my debt, interest, and my fee. So on an additional 100 rupees, there is an element of 18% GST, which makes the solution costlier. There could be services by the client where it can be treated as input tax credit, but it's an issue. There are issues of finance versus operating lease because the ECM is built for client specific. And there are exit clauses wherein client has to own the facility once the ESCO leaves. So financial lease treatment makes the client's balance sheet weaker. It is a lease asset for them. Depreciation. Who takes the depreciation benefit? ESCO is taking the depreciation benefit. They may not be requiring it. It could very well be good with the client. This is just food for thought. I am not saying who should own the asset. The purpose is to save the energy, reduce the carbon footprint by joint working of solution providers, client, and ESCO. The performance related key elements in the performance contract. What could be the minimum savings? Cost versus return. There could be some ECMs which might be having a higher, a longer payback period. Those are dropped by the ESCOs because that has a longer payback period. There could be the same solution which is more efficient, more economical at a location A because there the tariff is high. So these are the areas which should be addressed by the regulators or the nodal agencies which can help. The minimum load guarantee by the client to the ESCOs because some risk is being borne by client also, they give the minimum load guarantee to the ESCO. And during such issues wherein we have a force majeure of COVID or something for 1.5 or 2 years, the whole economics or your Excel working goes for a toss. Our ECMs are not inclusive. Those are skewed towards a solution A or B where the ESCO is confident. It should be integrated. Comfort versus saving. Because in the hospitality, the guest is the supreme for my client. If I am an ESCO, hotel is my client. For hotel, guest is their client. So the solutions or the control on a remote basis have some impact on autonomy of a guest. Exit obligation, buyback options because the asset is being buyback by the client on a certain residual value. That is an issue. Upside, downside. In case of there is a lack in upside and downside of the performance, who bears what or who takes which benefit? If client is to be insured for any shortfall, he may not be entitled for upside also. So there is there should be a trust building. That's why the ESCO EPC will get matured in India. Liquidation. In case the client goes for liquidation, either arbitrator will go for it or the ESCO can get their asset back. So these are the issues which has to be addressed in EPC. for better adoption in Indian market. So just a recap, ESCO is mainly a B2B offerings. Still in the nascent stage in India, even if we are there in the ESCO from last 20-25 years, it requires energy as a service from taking all the domains expertise. Need not to be a solution A or B. It should be a one-stop platform solutions. We should look at from the rupees or payback to energy under management. This much EUM I am managing. EUM could be from electricity or diesel or some water or something. We should assign a value to that. Technology would be the key. We have seen Carrier, Honeywell, there the IoT is there, global also. So the technology is the key for getting integrated with ESCO solutions. Simplification of the EPC. The contract should be simplified with trust building among various stakeholders, be it a finance partner, ESCO partner, client, or solution partner. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you, Amitji, and thank you for covering all the aspects of ESCO, because I didn't interrupt you between because our last speaker got some emergency, so he has left. That's the reason you get extra time to cover up, but you covered very well. And you have covered my last question also, because I want to ask that what are the challenges, and your presentation were very helpful. And that is the reason I think I didn't interrupt you in between during the presentation. It was going very well. So sorry about that. And now I request our next speaker from New York. And sorry, Jim, I think you wake up in a very early morning, 4:30, and now but we want to hear you, because this is something is a very innovative solution in the world, which we want to understand how it can impact the hospitality industry and energy savings. So I introduce you. Mr. Jim Lobrad is a business development for Hydromax, graduated from Southern Methodist University in 1991 with Bachelor's of Science degree in Mechanical Engineering. After graduating, he worked as a marketing engineer of a heat pump manufacturer in Texas. And Jim joined SBL in 1992 as a sales engineer, become a partner in 2000 and 2006. And Jim accepted a leadership role as a vice president of SBL. So I don't take much more time, Jim. I think over to you. Please share your presentation and look forward.
Okay, sounds good. Let me pull up the share here. Okay, hopefully it's coming up. There we go.
Yes,
can you see my screen?
Yes, we can. Perfect.
Okay, very good. Certainly our mantra is thinking forward to a greener tomorrow, which is a reason why we are all here today. First of all, I would like to say thank you very much for me allowing to speak at this event here from the United States of America, which is very early in the morning for me, but afternoon for everybody else on the call. So like everyone else, we are very interested in saving energy and reducing the carbon emissions that our industry is putting into the atmosphere. So if we look at India today, the HVAC, heating, ventilating, air conditioning industry in India is expected to go up nearly fourfold, go from 8 billion to 31 billion in just 11 years' time. India is currently under construction of 100 smart cities, all of which is creating a higher demand for HVAC systems. And certainly HVAC is divided into ventilation, cooling, and heating, and all require equipment to achieve it. All of this equipment consumes energy. That energy throws carbon into the atmosphere. And of this, and definitely with India's climate, cooling is taking the largest share of this. So among these, commercial is one of the highest consumers of HVAC energy. And inside of commercials is hotels, which is a very, which is a market that has risen greatly in India. It will certainly continue to grow. And by 2030, a large number of those hotel properties are set to be inaugurated in top cities within India. So certainly the hospitality industry is going to be leading that need, but can also be leading the drive for greater energy efficiency, whether it be through an ESCO model or whether it be through the initial design on day one. So a nanofluid can help save large amounts of energy consumed and can also help in reducing the CO2 emissions into the environment without affecting temperature requirement of the property. And our partner in India, Galaxy Energy, has installed Hydromix, our product, in numbers of properties in the India hotel industry. So what is a nanofluid? It is an energy-saving heat transfer fluid. What we've termed the product as, it has nanothermal technology. It uses nano-sized particles suspended in stable state inside of that fluid to do one thing: enhance heat transfer. And it saves energy by making heat exchangers more efficient. So most people don't think of a fluid as having a surface area. Certainly all of us in the HVAC industry understand that heat exchange is based on surface area. If you want to increase heat transfer or increase the efficiency of heat transfer, you increase the surface area of your heat exchanger. With a nanofluid, now your fluid has a surface area. When you look at the surface area of millions of these tiny nanoparticulate, the surface area of the fluid, number one, you have one. Number two, it increases substantially. So it allows greater energy exchange. So what we have is the product, a nanofluid, is able to reduce HVAC energy by 20 to 35% of the equipment it serves, which can be the boiler, the chiller, and heat pumps. It is much less expensive than wind or solar for the equivalent savings. Also, a nanofluid is a base load savings. Okay, it is always saving energy. It's always there. Doesn't need to have a sunny day or a windy day. It is fast to install, and this probably ties into the ESCO market that we're talking about today. It is very fast to install, usually only 1 to 2 days. It is also easy and non-invasive to install. Okay, we're not changing out equipment. We're not changing out LED lights, which require people to be inside the building. This is usually just one trade of plumbers, rarely takes more than 2 workers, and you only need access to a mechanical room. Now, one of the challenges in the past 25 years with nanofluids has been toxicology. Most of the research done by universities worldwide and laboratories is that the product ends up being toxic. It cannot be dumped down a drain. Certainly, you do not want to drink it. Now, our product is the only one on the market that we're aware of that has passed the most stringent toxicology tests from NSF International. The ethylene product is rated HT2, which is the highest possible for an ethylene. Our propylene product is rated HT1, which is the highest toxicology rating allowed by NSF. Now, it's also a glycol, so it allows protection from freeze, corrosion, calcification, algae, and other water treatment concerns that you may have inside of your closed loop. And it carries a 20-year warranty. Now, in India, our partners at Galaxy Energy have installed, over the past 6 years or so, have installed several sites with Hydromix, many of these being hospitality installations. Now, I've highlighted in red the savings. And as you can see, they range from about 24% to 40%. Now, all of these were retrofits. Where the building already existed, we had energy data from the fluid, which was most often water, and then switched to this nanofluid product. And the savings was able to be measured. And again, the difference here is that we're increasing the heat transfer performance of the equipment, not just the boilers in this example for heating, but then also the coils, the fan coils, the air handlers that it serves. And then again in red, I highlighted the ROI, return on investment. So as you can see that most of these are under 2 years. So the very successful installation, and again, perfect for the ESCO model, for ESCO contractors to use a nano fluid to save energy is this very fast return on investments. Now, as we look at other installations in India, many of these being hotels in the hospitality industry, now we're going to look at heat pumps. Now, the same science applies. We're improving the heat transfer rate of the existing equipment, not just the heat pump, but the products that it serves, the fan coils, air handlers, other coils. So as you can see here, the savings are 20 to 25%. The return on investment is all still under 2 years. So, and now let's go to the cooling side. Again, the science applies, whether it be heating, heat pump, or cooling, the science all applies. The nanoparticulate in the fluid increases the heat exchanger's performance. And here we see, all ironically, are at 20% energy savings for these 3 hotels in India. And what I imagine here is we have larger fluid volumes for cooling. So now we have return on investments that's 4 years, 3 years, and a year and a half. But all very, very impressive numbers by changing out the fluid. I'd like to also highlight, this is one of the most exhaustive studies that I have seen from applying this fluid to the market in India. This is for a factory. Happens to be Samsung was our customer. And this was similar to an ESCO. This was a guaranteed savings agreement. They did monitor and they did pay because the product met the requirements of the project. And the study resulted in, and I'll bring up on the next screen, my last screen, the data, but it shows a 32% increase in COP, coefficients of performance. And what that means is, number one, it had an increase in efficiency of 24%, but more importantly, because we have the effect of increasing the surface area of heat exchangers by adding nanoparticulate to the fluid, we increase the capacity of the existing equipment by 19.4%. And data is still coming in. This is very, very fresh, very new information with Samsung's Noida project. But as you can see here, if we look down near the bottom right, we have COP over off in the white part of the screen on the right. It mentions 32% increase in COP. Above that is the 24% increase in, or improvement in, energy consumption. So we're reducing the energy consumed by this chiller. As a result, the way the power is generated, whether it be by a generator or the power plant, is emitting less carbon into the atmosphere. And that's the case for all of these examples. So a very quick, very fast presentation into nanofluids. By all means, if there are any questions from here forward, Ashu, I assume they can reach out to you, reach out to us. But it's an interesting science. Our product has been on the market for 12 years, but the industry has been researching this, academia, for over 30. Thank you.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Jim, for on the time. Actually, that of course you took the 10 minutes time under the 10 minutes. I am really happy to see that. And I think a wonderful, like the profile, the portfolio you have done in India. Congratulations to you. So I think we have several questions, more than 20 questions right now, but I will not ask those because we have limited time. I'll take 2-3 from the audience side. And so I think I'll ask one to one. So first question, that other than auditing, finance, contract and performance pillars, how does the new ESCO enter the Indian market? What are the correct bodies, organizations that could guide, pave the way forward? So I request Manoj if you have an experience in this, that which are the bodies actually, that if someone new company has want to come in the ESCO market in India, what should be the way forward? Can you explain that? Manoj, Dheeraj, if you have idea.
So new companies participating in ESCO market, or how you?
Yes, so their question, the auditing, finance, contract and performance pillars is, of course, they are aware, but how does the new ESCO enter the India market? What are the correct bodies, organization that could guide the way forward? So I'm sure the Bureau of Energy Efficiency is the only. Yeah.
Right. So because see, you need recognized body, and that recognition is done by Bureau of Energy Efficiency. As I was talking about, there are 300 plus ESCO and 127 are listed with Bureau of Energy Efficiency. So the best part is like they have divided the ESCOs into 5 categories, 1 to 5, depending on. It's not about the volume of business. It's basically there are 5 criteria, and they have also identified care and other listing agencies where all the factors are considered. So if even a small company who has, let us say, turnover of 1 or 2 crore or even 50 lakhs can do ESCO business, maybe grading can be 5, but at least they will be listed, and they can start entering into the ESCO business and grow and increase their rating. So that is the best way. B is the, I think, best way to start ESCO business.
Perfect. Thank you so much. Question to you, Dheeraj or Shamaji, I think both of you can answer. Was for the energy is a prime importance, whether it is electrical or thermal. All users know this, but still the ASCO model is not so successful. Can you highlight the main reason for this? So Dheeraj, first you, please.
A very interesting question, and I think within the fraternity we have been discussing this for quite a long time. There are 2, 3 major factors right now, which is not giving us the kind of push what we really would like to see in the India market. Of course, one of the biggest aspect what I understand today is a solid, strong contractual document we should have in place, which helps us define the baseline, because at times within the organizations, baseline becomes a very contentious issue while we arrive and we align in the beginning of any contract that this is the baseline going to be. But I think that's something wherein documentation piece and the contractual obligations, I think if you've got a standardized document across to be used by every customer application, ESCO, I think that will give us a lot of parity and a lot of similarity between whatever we are doing across the geographies. Another piece what I feel is today, I feel a lack of direct incentivization to the user. What happens is you may incentivize them through, in case they are developers, they get excited through FSRs. But in case there are incentivizations which are direct in nature, for example, now Bureau of Energy Efficiency is now looking at standards, a labeling program for even chillers now, which is right on the voluntary phase, which will get into subsequently into a mandatory phase. They should try and see that can they give certain tax benefits or any other way of incentivizing directly in case the user wants to move in from one level of labeling to another level of labeling. This is just a plain vanilla retrofit in our language. In case they want to go in for more and better savings, then can that be moved up the ladder in terms of more savings or more incentivizations? These are 2, 3 points which I feel are possibly the deterrents today for us to work on.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Dheeraj. Shama, you want to add something in that?
Yes. Ashuji, my basic criteria would be that I understand that, as we are BE aggregated and ESCO company, and we have all the contractual norms into place. However, sometimes it is right time, right reach at that person. We have seen that when somebody has tried and tested this kind of a module, it is a mouth publicity which carries out, and the cluster of such hospitality or a hospital or office block tend to take this opportunity. The only point I think it is not becoming very popular, Ashuji, is because when we put some figure in front of our customer, they have a doubt in their mind that how much is this person going to earn. And that is a kind of a roadblock where they don't maybe want to go into ESCO, and they think that nahi yaar, capex is much better, let's go for capex. But it is just awareness which is required to be done, and once this awareness is done, I am 100% sure most of the retrofits will be extremely successful across India.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Shamaji. I think the next question to Jim. What is the cost of these nano fluid technology? Do you only work on the ESCO model?
Yes, thank you. I was actually just typing a response for that. The cost of the fluid is somewhere between 2 and 3 times the cost of a traditional glycol. And no, ESCO is we do sell to ESCO markets, to ESCO contractors. Today, it's a minority part of our business, but because of the fast return on investment, we see this as one of the largest markets for this type of product to be applied to. Certainly, industry awareness is one of the big items, and so thank you for allowing us to speak today. Industry awareness is one of the largest items we need to advance this technology.
Thank you so much, Jim. I think we are already 4 minutes run of the time, and I can see Mr. Chairman, Mr. Dharkar, and Mr. Dharkar, I think I want that you just share your thought. What exactly was the session about it? Thank you. Please.
Thank you, Ashu. I was always here. I was listening to all stalwarts, and it was such a delight to see presentations from Abhay Bakre Saab, Dheeraj, Manoj, Shama, Amit, Jim, Akash. I think fantastic learnings we did in last 2 hours. And I think what ASSOCHAM is doing, and what Shama said and Dheeraj ji said, that we, and of course, Jim said, we are complementing ASSOCHAM's main theme to create this as a new business potential in the country. It is indeed going to be a very big market, as Sir said, Abhayji said. It could be close to 10 lakh crore investment can be generated in this ESCO business module. And we at ASSOCHAM GEM take pride, and I'm sure, Ashu, with your and Neeraj help, we are going to soon come up with a new certification program which deals with retrofitting the old projects, and how do we convert them into green as a new series of certification program. And you are our leader. I'm looking forward that soon to happen, and I can assure all the stakeholders that ASSOCHAM GEM will continue doing work with BEE, with blessings of BEE. We'll take up more and more segments. Today it was hospitality. We earlier did air conditioning industry specific, electrical industry specific, and I think the next few models are going to be on IBMS and lighting, as Neeraj ji said, and we will also pick up segments of other important segments where a lot of possibility of ESCO models are existing. So thank you, Ashu, and thank you all of you.
Thank you so much, Dharkar sir, for your kind words. I think your energy and passion always motivate us to do such kind of work. So thank you so much for showing your energy always. And I think Neeraj ji, now over to you. I thanks to all my speakers, all well covered all the points, and I think I have some more questions. I will share all of you to have answers that. And similarly, that I will request to all of you share the presentation, so I will circulate among all the participants in that. So Neeraj ji, over to you for the vote of thanks, please.
Thank you, Ashu, for the wonderful moderation. And I must appreciate that, you have good energy and your moderation was really wonderful. We could able to complete the session on time. And absolutely, Dharkar Saab, when you, Ashu, and we were discussing internally that we should start a webinar series on EPC and ESCO model, and we thought of approaching Bureau of Energy Efficiency, and we got wonderful support from Bureau of Energy Efficiency. They immediately agreed because they liked the topic, and and how this entire webinar series was started. So I mean, earlier we planned 6 webinars in this series. And we started one with introduction, and Bakre Saab, Director General, Bureau of Energy Efficiency, was there in the first webinar also. And in fact, he is supporting us in all the webinars. He's attending all the webinars. Our second was on electrical equipment manufacturing, electrical equipment manufacturers, in fact. The next one was on healthcare industry, and this one was on hospitality industry. So we are receiving wonderful support from the audience as well. I could see more than 250 and in fact 270 plus attendees attending this program. So thank you so much, dear friends, those who are listening to this program on regular basis. Our next, webinar will be on energy performance contracting, opportunities and challenges for lighting fixtures manufacturers. And the last one will be on the IBMS manufacturers. So friends, thank you so much, the speakers, for your, wonderful information you have shared today. Thank you so much. I would like to, extend my special thanks to Mr. Jim. Thank you so much, Jim. You skipped your morning walk today and you joined us for this session. I can understand that there is, I think the time there is around 5 a.m. So thank you so much for joining, and thank you so much other speakers, Mr. Dheeraj Wadhwa from Carrier, Mr. Manoj Kumar Singh from Honeywell, Shama Jainji from Thames, Mr. Amit Jain from Tata Power, Mr. Akash Jain from Alien, and thank you so much, Bakre Saab and Arijit ji. Thank you so much, Amrish ji, for your kind support. Thank you so much, and we will meet again. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Neeraj ji, just a request, can we have a group picture of the speakers all together?
Yes. Definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely.
So if we can have on the same gallery layout, I think.
Thank you.
Perfect.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.